यूरोप का कुछ भरोसा नहीं है। आज एक करेंसी है, कल कोई
Namo Siddhanam. Jai Jinendra, everyone. Welcome to the 6th edition of Jain Heritage Series, an exclusive webinar series related to Jainism, Jain history and heritage, brought to you by the website jainheritagecenters.com. I would like to welcome everyone on to this 6th edition of our series. Friends, today's topic is heritage and inscriptions of Udaygiri Khandagiri Jain caves. And and our speaker is our respected Madam Dr. Renuka Purwalji. And before we start, I think I will give a quick introduction about Dr. Renuka Purwalji, and then we will let Madam take over the forum for her lecture. Dr. Renuka Purwalji is one of the renowned Jaina scholars and who has done a PhD on the renowned Jain saint Acharya Buddhisagarji's life sketch and works. In addition to her PhD, she has done various PG diploma courses in various subjects like Indian aesthetics, Jain aesthetics, manuscriptology, Modi script, and Jainology. And she is a visiting lecturer and research scholar at Somaya College, Vidya Vihar, Mumbai, International Summer School for Jain Studies, Gujarat Vidyapeeth, Ahmedabad. In addition to this, she is also the committee member of Mumbai Jain Yuvak Sangh, Sri Jain Patrakar Sangh, Bharat Jain Mahamandal. In addition to this, she has also presented more than 50 research papers in various institutes and universities of Srinagar, Jammu, Kurukshetra, Banaras, Tirupati, Chennai, Patna, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, and others. And she's authored more than 200 articles on various subjects, which have been written in English, Hindi, and Gujarati, and have been published in various journals and research works. When it comes to her books, she is authored the book Yoganist Acharya Buddhisagarji Sagar Surishwarji, which is in Gujarati in 2003. Then she's authored one of the best Amazon bestsellers book, I should say, the Jaina Stupa at Mathura, Art and Icons. And we have heard her erudite knowledge in that particular subject, where she spent over 10 to 11 years in the previous session. Then in addition to this, owing to her work, she's been given, she's also authored another book in Gujarati on Acharya Buddhisagarji in 2008. In addition to that, some of her works, I mean, as a recognition of her continuous dedicated work and service to Jainism, she's been awarded various awards and medals. Some of them are the Shuddha Bhakti Award in 2003, Durlabh Sagar Award in 2014, Jain International Trade Organization or the JITOS Appreciation Award in 2017. In addition to that, for her outstanding work on the Jaina Stupa at Mathura, Art and Icons, guided by Dr. Sagar Mal Jain, she's been presented with the Asiatic Society of Mumbai Silver Medal for the year 2016-2018, and it was presented to her on 2019. And I think it's a pleasure for us to have such a learned scholar who has done extensive work on multiple aspects about Jainism and Jainology and Jain history, heritage, and epigraphy and inscriptions. And in fact, to speak about today's sessions, I will not take much of your time. But in general, to say like the Udaygiri Khandagiri caves has always been a fascination to many Jains, and particularly the regime of King Kharavela and the Kharavela inscriptions have always been one of the important aspects for many people, and it has already, like drawn the attention of many scholars worldwide. And it is a pleasure that we have such a great scholar with us to speak about the topic. I think just give us a moment. I think there has been some technical connection issues that due to which Renuka madam is still yet to has gone offline. Meanwhile, we are just trying to get her online, back online. While she gets back online, I think just to when she comes back online, I think just wanted to inform you all that I think before we get on to Dr. Renuka madam, until she joins back, just to keep the people engaged. We all know, like, I'll just quickly speak about what exactly is the main intent about Jain Heritage Series. The Jain Heritage Series has been one of the very rare kind of an initiatives. We have always seen people world over, Jains, non-Jains, Indians, non-Indians, people across India from different backgrounds, languages, and religious backgrounds, and social backgrounds, have always been a part of the Jaina study circles and academic circles. In spite of all that, what happens is we have also seen not much of work gets out and comes to the limelight. Particularly, except for some of the few works, not much of work comes to the limelight. So our main intent over here is to ensure cutting across languages, regions, religions, and countries. We wanted to have a level playing field for everyone, so that they can come and present over here, irrespective of the age and irrespective of whether they are it's a person's format, as whether a person is a full-time scholar, or if whether a person is or amateur. But end of the day, it's all about recognizing the hard work and the research that is unexposed and unknown to the external world, and presenting it. That's the whole intent of starting the Jain Heritage Series. And with that, I think when you look back at the series, the kind of subjects that we have had for the past 6 to 7 sessions, past 5 to 6 sessions, we have had initial session on Jinwani Saraswati, the philosophical aspect, as well as the iconography and architectural aspects. When it comes to that, it was like many of them, they thought, how do we want to connect it? The main intent over there was to have the philosophical aspect as well as the iconography and heritage aspect, just to connect the both elements of Jain heritage and archaeology, wherein we had a very youngster, maybe one of the youngsters who achieved a Shastri Padvi at the age of 22 or 23 years, has been one of the speakers speaking about the philosophical aspect. Then we had Dr. Shanti Swarup Sinha, who has been one of the, being a person who is being in Banaras, he's traveled across the length and the breadth of the country, and he did a tremendous work. And we had the pleasure of having him and speak about the iconographical aspects about Jinwani Saraswati. Then we had another session by Dr. Lata Botraji, where she spoke about Jainism in Eastern India. And Dr. Lata Botraji's sessions were again very mind-blowing, where she spoke about the Jainism in Bangladesh, including Orissa, Jharkhand, Bengal, North Bengal, South Bengal, Central Bengal, across the length and breadth of the region. I think that's how Dr. Lata Botraji had connected with us. And then after that, followed by that was another session by our learned friend Shubha Majumdarji, who is again a very young upcoming research scholar on Jainism and Jain heritage, who has done a tremendous his own PhD about Jainism in Bengal and the surrounding region. And I think his presentation was again one of the mind-blowing ones, because not many of us knew much about Jainism in Bengal, and particularly the Varendra region, which is the current Bangladesh and as well as the northern Bengal. That involves the region around like New Jalpaiguri, Darjeeling, and the surrounding regions. Even that was a very good session with quite a bit of good revelations, where Mr. Shubha Majumdarji was able to give us the details about Bhadrabahu Swami, the Antima Shruta Kevali, who was that it was the Varendra region, was the birth region of Acharya Bhadrabahu, and with that, that was another important revelation. Then we just have Renuka Purvalji, madam. Thank you, madam. You're back online. We can see you. While you were away, we were trying to keep the our audience engaged. Thank you, madam. I think yes. So we had Shubha Majumdarji, who spoke about Northern Bengal, Jism in Northern Bengal, with very important revelation. Not many knew, was about Acharya Bhadrabahu's birth region was Varendra region. And another important aspect which we could not speak earlier, which since I am speaking about that, like one thing that we saw over there is we see pedestal inscriptions in many Jaina idols, but along with the pedestal inscriptions in northern Bengal and south Bengal, like what Dr. Majumdarji said, you will also see the people who donated the idols. Their names are mentioned along with that. Their idols are also carved along the pedestals. That was one of the very interesting aspects. Then we had a very interesting session by Renuka Purvalji madam. The previous session was about Kankali Tila Jaina heritage and the Jain heritage in the Mathura region. Friends, let me tell you, that was one of the best sessions we have had till date, I should say, because it went on for online itself was 2 hours 7 minutes, and it was very interesting revelations with the history of the Jaina Stupa tradition, starting from the time of Suparshvanath Tirthankara, followed by Parshvanath Tirthankara's visit and Mahavir Tirthankara's visit and other aspects. It was such an important thing, like many people, they never even thought that something of this sort existed. And madam gave us a very different dimension to the entire way of thinking, wherein the Jaina worship started initially through the stupas, followed by the sculptures. And I think now we have another interesting session to follow, wherein Renuka Purval madam is back with us. She'll be speaking about one of the very interesting aspects, that is inscriptions and heritage and inscriptions of Udayagiri Khandagiri Jaina caves. I'll hand over the forum to Renuka Purvalji madam. Madam, over to you. I think initial 2 minutes, madam will speak about, she'll try to give a context about this. Later on, once madam gives us a green signal, we'll start sharing her presentation, which will be furthermore enlightening to everyone. Thank you, madam. With this, we will we'll hand over the forum to Dr. Renuka Purval, madam. Madam, over to you.
Thank you very much. First thing is that, can you hear me? My voice is fine.
Clear, madam. Perfect.
Jai Jinendra. माँ सरस्वती को वंदना, वंदना सर्व गुरुजनों को. I am very, very happy to come here once again in Jaina Heritage Center. Thank you very much for inviting me. Friends, I understand that you know about Emperor Ashoka Maurya, who won the battle against the kingdom of Kalinga. On seeing the irreparable, drastic damage and carnage in a war, Ashoka accepted Buddhism. This is what we know. But what happened to Kalinga? After that terrific war with Magadha, we have very, very less knowledge. So we will talk today that how Kalinga gained his lost reputation and became a powerful empire. So when Kharvel born, after 64 years of this famous war between Kalinga and Magadha, a Prince Kharvel born in a Chaitri dynasty, Cheti dynasty at Kalinga. He called his Vansa as a Mahamegha Vahana Vansa. He ascended to Kalinga throne at the age of 24. His lifespan was only 38 years. Means within 38 years, he has done all work for Jainism and all for India and everything. The Jaina king of Kharvel had done tremendous work besides documentation of all his political, cultural, and religious achievements. His inscription covers the Maurya dates and the names of reigning kings like Satkarni, Mahananda, Demeter, the Yavana king, and many more. The inscription of Hathi Gufa cave at Udaygiri hill in present Orissa was engraved after Kharvela overpowered Magadha in 2nd BC. When he overpowered Magadha in 2nd BC, he engraved this inscription. After conquered Magadha, he brought back the Kalinga Jina image carried away by Nanda king. So this is a very important as it strengthens the adoration of Jina images since Nanda period. Now, first we will see the caves of Udaygiri, then Kharvel inscription, and later on Khandagiri caves. The Kharvel inscription is in the center, and then Khandagiri caves. So we will start presentation.
Can you see the presentation, madam?
Sorry?
Can you see the presentation?
Ah.
Yes, madam. Over to you, madam.
See, our subject is heritage and inscriptions of Udaygiri Khandagiri caves. There are 3 inscriptions. One is at Hathi Gufa cave, and second is at a Swargapuri cave, and third one is at a Naumuni Gufa in a Khandagiri. So this is the Rani Gufa cave at Udaygiri. Let us start with a Saraswati prayer and a Naukar mantra. Okay, next. This is the image of at an ancient Jaina shrine, Ladnu in Rajasthan. It's a very beautiful Digambara temple. I think it is a 15 years old shrine is temple is there. Prayer is in Prakrit. Kundindu Gokhira Chushara Vanna Saroj Hatha Kamaleni Sanna Vaye Sri Puthai Vagga Hatha Suhayasa Amha Shaya Pasatha. Now we will chant our Naukar mantra. Next. Namo Arhantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayaryanam, Namo Vajrayanam, Namo Loye Sabva Sahunam. Eso Pancha Namukaro Sabva Papanasano, Manglanancha Savesing Padamam Havai Mangalam. One can see in the right on the Naukar mantra in a Brahmi script. Okay. Next, the developed architectural skill. We must know architecture skill when developed, where developed. And these rock cut caves, where we are getting the references. So I have mentioned here, the references of a natural caves and rock cut caves are available in many scriptures. Mostly in a Kalpasutra, Shatrunjay Mahatmya, Trishashti Shalaka Purush Charitra, Harivansha Purana of Jinasena, and many more. Now, we must know in ancient times, Jaina sadhus and even Bauddha and Vedic seers, they were very often living in a caves for meditation. The word gufa is derived from guha, means hidden, chupa hua. Sadhus were meditating because they were meditating in a gufas because of its cool and calm atmosphere. And there is no any disturbance. Without any disturbance, they can do their sadhana. These are gufas. Such caves are situated in most of the parts of India. Jaina's architectural skill first developed in the construction of magnificent stupas, then in cave temples, and later on in a shrines, what we call it derasaras. Thus, the roots of present shrines are available in cave temples and in stupas. So first we will see where the architectural skill is developed and how it is developed. Okay, next. What I have told, in ancient times, Jaina sadhus were very often living in caves. So this is the Ganesha Keva at Udaygiri. This is our subject. Here you can see the inside is a Jaina images, and right is a Jaina image, and in the left is a Ganesh. Next.
Continue, madam.
Will you please?
Madam, we are unable to hear you.
नहीं, but it disturbs me a lot of so please unmute कर दीजिए ना, please unmute everybody,
People who are not speaking, request everyone to kindly be on mute.
please mute कर दीजिए. हाँ, next.
Yes, madam.
This is the kings were depicting Jaina images for meditation and darsana for years. So from these images we can come to know whether it's a Buddha cave or Jaina caves or Vedic caves. But this is the later one. This image is I think this is 5th century. They have made this image. Okay, next. This is the depiction of a Jaina images for meditation in Badami caves. Just for comparing, I have shown. Okay, next. Next, bhai sahab. This is the sorry, previous one. Sorry, one before, please. Jaina image drawn at Vaibaragiri. This is Swan Bandara cave, Rajgrihi, the second BC. Here one can see here Jaina image. It's depicted, but it's just like a drawing. And this is the only drawing. It's in Padmasana, so one can see here. Lions also one can see here. And this is the Chawardhari, if you can see here.
आपने इतना वक्त क्यों लिया?
अनुराधा जी फिल्मों में तो गाने गाए भगवान के इतने भजन गाए ना, मुझे पता था भगवान एक दिन आपको जरूर सुनेगा.
People are not request everyone to
लास्ट टाइम आए थे ना अनुराधा जी, अपने बेटे के साथ आए थे, आदित्य के साथ, तो वो हमें बता रहे थे कि उस दिन ना घर में ज्यादा मतलब कपड़े पहनते नहीं, तौले पहन के घूमते रहते हैं. तो अब तो बहू आ गई घर में.
People are not speaking. A lot of problem in the background.
क्योंकि किसान का बेटा हूँ. हाँ, क्या बात. इनके फार्मर सन, वो आदत तो कभी जाए.
Madam, continue, madam.
Please, next. This is the inside view of a Son Bandara cave at Rajgiri, Bihar. Now we can see Jaina images. No, but this cave, what happened after hundreds of years? Cave के ऊपर का छत्र टूट जाता है, छत, and this is open to sky, but it is caves. The same thing happened at a Khandagiri also. Next. What I told you, Jaina's architectural skill first developed in a stupas. So here we can see the pillars, Salbanjikas, and art motifs here. And these are all art motifs. So these are all adopted in a caves. So in the next slide, we will see how they have adopted the pillars, art motifs, etc. Next. This is the Badami cave again. One can see pillars here inside. So many pillars are here at Badami caves. The roots of present shrines are here in cave temples. These all are Salbanjikas depicted here on pillars, like as a bracket. Next. This is an enlarged view of the same. Now you can see here art motifs, all Salbanjikas and all, and pillars, beautiful pillars in caves. Caves, गुफा और के साथ में पैरेलल ही मंदिरों में भी ये आ गए थे, सभी कार्विंग सब आ गई थी। करीब करीब 6ठी सदी के बाद में ये सब हमको पैरेलल मिलता है। द बेस्ट एग्जांपल इज अ पट्टाडकल टेम्पल वी आर गेटिंग हियर, द ओल्डेस्ट टेम्पल available in India. So the pillars, motifs, and symbols in the caves, the roots are in these are in a present science. We will get next. Here King Amog Barsa took a Sanlekhana Vrat. So this is a very, very large cave at Badami in a Karnataka where your people are living. So here you can see all the roots of present Derasaras, pillars and art motifs, etc. Next. This Aihole. In this cave, a structure like a Garbhagruha is seen. All pillars are like that way that it shows as a Garbhagruha in front of a Tirthankara. This later on accepted in a present shrines. Next. This is also a Ellora cave with a Garbhagriha like a structure. Outside two jinas, if a standing jina, they call as a Kausagiya. And inside the image is in a Padmasana. This is a previous structure of a Jaina shrine. Next. This is also Garbhagruha like a small shrine available in a Ellora cave. Next. This is a Gatta Valley Ellora, similar to present shrine. This is available in most of the shrines. This is called Gatta. Gatta means Gada, Kumbha, pot. And these are the leaves. A very beautiful structure from Ellora, accepted in a present Jaina shrines. And even it is available in a stupa also. Next. These are the pillars from a Jaina stupa and old shrines at Kankali Tila, Mathura. One can compare with present shrines and even in caves. Beautiful. Without any lathe machine, they were doing like this. All techniques are available there. Here also, Gatta Valley is depicted. And one can see here a Vrishabha here depicted. The art motifs are there. So this is the all 4 pillars are from a Jaina stupa at a Kankali Tila. Next. Now we are at a Rani Gufa. The Odisha's old name is a Kalinga. Kalinga means a present Orissa. This is the way to Udaygiri caves, the Rani Gufa. Very beautiful story, one story building. Here you can see Dwarpala's outside. Very beautiful cave. We will see in detail the caves at Udaygiri are 4 kilometers away from Bhubaneswar. Bhubaneswar is the capital of Orissa. It was known as a Kalinga. According to historians, there might be some natural caves already available there. Afterwards, they might have Jeernoddhar. But later on, they are furnished with mostly by Kharvela, as he mentioned in his inscription. At Udaygiri, 18 caves are in good condition, and at Khandagiri, 14 caves are in good condition. The twin hills, Udaygiri or Khandagiri ki, previously was called as a Kumar Parvat in inscription. This is the double-story Rani Gufa cave where some important incidents are carved, mostly of a Kharvel's knife. Next. This one is supported by pillars. Upper story is supported by 7 pillars. And one can see here Dwarpala. और द्वारपाला का जो ड्रेस है ना वो फॉरेन में जो आते हैं ना वेशा, जिससे अभी हमारे यहाँ पर गुरखा वगैरह होते हैं ना, इससे वहां पर भी उस समय बाहर से आए हुए थे. दिस इज द सिंपल cells and has a total 6 cells. And here very good porch is there, one can see. And next a single cells are there. Next. This is the other view of a Rani Gufa cave. Here the entrance is to the cell like this way. I'm talking about this. Okay. Are embellished with the pilasters crowned by animals like a bull, winged lion. Here is a bull, winged lion, etc. Over them, arches and toranas. A toranas have a Srivatsa, either or a 3 jewels. Next. Here one can see it are very much single cave where only one can meditate. 2 persons cannot stay. It's such a small cave. And these are the art motifs. Winged lions, and one can see here. Next. This is a door lintel at, in a Rani Gufa cave at Udaygiri. Here there is some incidents. They are showing one horse is here and 2 are kneeling down. I will show you in next slide. Next. Here, this is the enlarged one. One royal personage and 2 are kneeling down. So according to historians, he might be the Pushya Brihaspati Mitra as mentioned in his inscription. So 2 men are kneeling down to this royal personality. Okay, next. These are Vidyadharas. You can see these are Kamanas, Toranas, and the Vidyadharas are moving with offerings. Just but they are, because they are Vidyadharas, they are the flying. They are showing flyings. And they are offerings in their hand. And here elephants are there. This is a Rani Gufa cave. Okay, next. These are life incidences of King Harvel, but historians are not sure about that. So I have question mark here. One lady is they are holding one lady and like that. So some different types of there. Next. This is the Udaygiri Ganesh Gufa. Two elephants, they are holding some auspicious object. Next. This is a deity on a pillar with offerings. One can see here the bracket, pillars with a bracket. Corner के ऊपर सुंदर इससे किया हुआ है. ब्रैकेट्स के ऊपर बहुत अच्छे से किया हुआ है. नेक्स्ट. A female with offerings, and that we have seen first one. This a couple is worshipping tree. In a bracket, this is a tree. चैत्य वृक्ष की पूजा कर रहे हैं ये कपल. और ये कॉर्नर है ना, ब्रैकेट्स है, तो ये दोनों वो ब्रैकेट्स के शेप में है, तो इसके लिए स्लैंटिंग दिख रहे हैं. नेक्स्ट. This also female with offerings. Here you can see brackets is a pillar है, पिलर के ऊपर सुंदर इच्छा ब्रैकेट्स है कॉर्नर राउंड में, और उसी के ऊपर ये वैसा ही बनाया हुआ है विथ ऑफरिंग्स. इसे 2000 years old शिल्प है. नेक्स्ट. यहाँ पर दो केव्स है, मंचापुरी केव और उसके ऊपर स्वर्गपुरी केव. ऐसा लगता है ये खारवेल की रानी ने बनाया हुआ है. तो ये जो मंचापुरी केव है, इसमें ब्रैकेट किस तरह से बताया आप देख सकते हैं. अ वुमन हॉर्स राइडर, जैसे मतलब ये रानी लगती है और ये अश्व के ऊपर है, और ऐसा है ब्रैकेट विथ अ वुमन हॉर्स राइडर. नेक्स्ट. Here a bracket with a wide be king of Kharvel on horse. आप ये देख सकते हैं, ये सपोर्ट के लिए जो पिलर है उसके सपोर्ट में ब्रैकेट्स बनाया है, और उसको अश्व का शेप दे करके उस पर खारवेल हो सकता है ये, क्योंकि इसका जो क्राउन है वो राजा के जैसा है. वी आर नॉट श्योर, सो आई एम टेलिंग इट माइट बी किंग खारवेल. नेक्स्ट. Here I have combined मंचा के पूरी केव विथ 2 ब्रैकेट्स. तो ये राजा है और ये रानी हो सकते हैं. बिल्कुल ये सुंदर बताया ताकि मालूम पड़ जाए कि कैसा दिखता है. जैसे मंचापुरी केव, और इसके ऊपर स्वर्गपुरी केव है जहां पर इंस्क्रिप्शन है. नेक्स्ट. Historian, according to most of the historians, this is a King of Kharvel family, and they are adoring some symbol of Jainism. So what I feel के this looks like a Samavasarana. 3 दिख रहे हैं कि बहुत काला गया है.
अच्छा तुम ये पढ़ो, तुम पहले एग्जाम का पढ़ो तो.
This is the worship of a Jaina symbol, maybe by the family of a king at Swargapuri. यहाँ पर इंस्क्रिप्शन है, और ये इंस्क्रिप्शन मेंशन करता है. अच्छा, पहले मैं इसका डिस्क्रिप्शन दे दूं. Here we are getting the message of a devotion. कि इस तरह इस पर कैसे भक्ति करते हैं। ये सब के सब हाथ जोड़ के खड़े हैं, पूरी फैमिली हाथ जोड़ के खड़ी है यहाँ समाव शरण के पास में, और यह हाथी पे आए हैं। The upper story of this Vanchapuri cave, this is Swargapuri cave. Here sun is on the prince head. Here is the prince, और उसके पर आपको सूर्य दिखता है होगा छोटा। ये भाई साहब नेक्स्ट बताएंगे प्लीज। Here you can see still proper way. ये एलिफेंट पे आया, पूरी फैमिली आई है। ये प्रिंस है, उसके ऊपर सूर्य है, और ये रानी हो सकती है, और ये राजा और ये दोनों रानी है। और यहाँ पर 2 लाइन का छोटा इंस्क्रिप्शन है, उसमें कहा है कि दिस केव इज डोनेटेड बाय कुडेपसिरी और वक्रदेवा, द किंग ऑफ खारवेल, सन ऑफ किंग खारवेल, मोस्टली द किंग ऑफ अ महामेघवाहन ऑफ अ कलिंगा। तो मुझे लगता है इसने बाद में पूरा सब उसको दे दिया होगा, तो उसके डेथ के बाद में ये शायद बनाया होगा स्वर्गपुरी क्यों, क्योंकि इसमें लिखा है द किंग ऑफ महामेघवाहन ऑफ अ कलिंगा, तो माइट बी द डिसेंडेंट ऑफ अ खारवेल, as his ancestors names are given as a Chem Raja and a Vriddha Raja, and उसका जो आगे चल के वो धर्म राजा भिक्षु राजा खारवेल है, तो ये खारवेल का वंशज हो सकता है कुडापसिरी और वक्रदेवा। Now let's go to cave number 14, where we will get a Hathi Gufa cave. Okay, a way to Hathi Gufa cave. It's a signboard where we will go. It's a Hathi Gufa cave at Udaigiri Hill. It is so big, that's why it is called Hathi Gufa. हाथी जैसी बड़ी है, इसके लिए हाथी गुफा।
मैडम थोड़ा आवाज नहीं आ रहा है।
Just wait.
It is fine, madam. We are able to hear you.
Now, this is the cave number 14. It's known as a Hathi Gufa. Here the famous inscription of a Kharvel is there. It has 17 lines engraved on the highest place on the hill. Now, is it okay? Okay, myself. Now, can you hear me? Hello.
We can hear you, madam. Continue.
This is protected by pillars. You can see. So inside is a Hathi Gufa cave. And how much big you can see here. I'm standing here, and this is so high. This is next. This inscription was engraved after King Kharvel won the battle against Magadha in 2nd century BC. He brought back the Kalinga Jina image, which was carried away by Nanda King before 150 years. He convened here the second Agam Vachara. On this occasion, he received a giant ships from a Pandya king for transporting elephants, as mentioned in this cave inscription. So this is the actual Kharvel inscription. It looks like this. Here you will hardly see, here there is a swastik, and over this Sri Vatsa. I will show you in a next slide. Here at the hill, the historian Sterling first noticed the temple, okay, then caves and inscription in the year 1825. In 1825, the Sterling first noticed this cave. Later on, after 60 years, the impression of plaster of Paris was taken. This is the copy of this published print. Sterling had mentioned that once in a year, Parwal merchants of a nearby city Katak hold a festival of their Jaina faith. Thus, Jaina occupation on the hill was continuous. One beautiful temple is still there and on a Khandagiri hill. Digambara temple is there on Khandagiri hill. That is nearly about more than 100 years old. This inscription is commenced with Namo Arhantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Savasiddhanam. So next please. This is in a Brahmi, no, Namo Arhantanam, no hai again, Namo Savasiddhanam. दो पद से नौकार मंत्र का खारवेल का इंस्क्रिप्शन शुरू होता है. Namo Arhantanam, Namo Savasiddhanam. And symbols like swastika, and this is a swastika, you can see I have enlarged this one, and the Sri Vatsa is here. हमेशा जब ये चार गति में मनुष्य घूमता है ना, तो with the help of Ratnatrayi, 3 jewels, he reached to Siddhasthan. So this is the Siddhasthan, the symbol of a Sri Vatsa. Next. Kharvel's inscription with symbols. Here one you can see swastika and a Sri Vatsa, and this is 3 jewels. Very old depiction of 3 jewels is here. And this is the Dharma Dhaja, religious flag. And actually it looks like this way. This is the impression with a plaster of Paris, and this is actual. But this is 100 years old, this one is. And this is the present photograph of this. So these are all the symbols in the inscriptions. Four symbols we are getting. Now we will see the Kharvel's history in very short. Next. The birth year of a Kharvel, 197 BC. Lifespan was 38 years. His death occurs in 159 BC. Kalinga war date is given as 261 BC. The date of inscription, what he has given, is 160 BC. So Kharvel born after 64 years of a Kalinga war in Chedi Vans or Chaitri Vans, in the family of Premraj and Vriddharaja. He had 2 queens. One of the queens' name was Drishti, the daughter of a king Vijiraja from a Sinhapatha. This is mentioned in a Swargapuri cave. Date of Ashoka Maurya is 273 birth and 236 he died in that. Okay. Next. As we have seen, the inscription commences with the Namo Arhantanam, Namo Savasiddhanam. In short, we will do what is done. Symbol Sri Vatsa, above Sri Vatsa, above swastika, 3 jewels and a Dharma Dhaja is you can get here. Total it has 17 lines. Kharvel was the 3rd king of his dynasty. His references of Cheti Vans are available in a Paumacharya Harivansa Puran. Okay. Up to 15 years, he acquired a great proficiency in games, education, and practical knowledge. And he became a prince when he turned to 15. Prince means a Yuvaraj, and succeeded to throne at the age of 24. In the same year, first year, he repaired the Bhavanas, forts, etc., damaged in a Kalinga war and cyclone. Here, in the first year, he spent 35 lakhs. The Pandya king gifted a giant ship useful for carrying elephants. This is the in a short. Now we'll see in detail. Still, this is a short description. Now we'll see in detail. Next. is the border at Udaygiri Khandagiri of a twin hills. Why we call it Udaygiri and Khandagiri? ये दोनों हिल का साथ में ही नाम क्यों लेते हैं कि मध्य प्रदेश में विदिशा के पास में एक उदयगिरी नाम की पहाड़ी है, वहां की गुफा में चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य नहीं, चंद्रगुप्त सेकंड चंद्रगुप्त का इंस्क्रिप्शन है। तो उदयगिरी बोलेंगे सिंगल तो वो मध्य प्रदेश की होती है, एंड उदयगिरी एंड खंडगिरी दो साथ में बोलेंगे तो दिस इज इन ओडिशा। ओके, नेक्स्ट। Like this way, full inscription is mentioned at Udaygiri. So we will see the detail of inscription in a very short period, as understand from his inscription that he was a very powerful ruler. He acquired a great skill in games and received a good education of every field. Became a Yuvraj when he completed 15 and ascended to throne he completed 24, that we have seen. Now, in the first year he repaired the bhavanas, forts, lakes, etc. damaged in a Kalinga war by the cyclone. Every year what he has done, that he has mentioned in his inscription. 24 वर्ष पूरे होते ही उसने राजगादी संभाली और 14 वर्ष तक राज्य किया, और शिलालेख में पहले वर्ष में ये किया, दूसरे वर्ष में ये किया, तीसरे वर्ष में ये किया, इस तरह से 13 वर्ष का हर वर्ष का उसने डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया है कि ये काम किया, वो काम किया, और राज्य गादी संभालने के 14 वर्ष बाद ही उसकी मृत्यु हुई है। तो हम 13 साल में क्या हुआ, ये फर्स्ट ईयर में ये हुआ, सेकंड ईयर में ये हुआ, ये पूरा डिस्क्रिप्शन खारवेल ने 17 लाइन्स के इंस्क्रिप्शन में दिया हुआ है। ओके, तो फर्स्ट ईयर में उसने 35 लाख स्पेंड करके साइक्लोन से और वॉर से जो डैमेज हुए थे, भवन, फोर्ट्स, लेक्स एटसेट्रा, उसको सबको रिपेयर कराया बराबर। इन द सेकंड ईयर ऑफ हिज रूल he led his army troops with horses, elephants and rathas to the west without carrying of Satvahana king Satkarni, and reached to the river Krishna and threatened the city of Asika. Asika के लोगों को उसने डराया। Here he exhibited his strength and mightiness. Seeing all his work, people of the Kalinga became very confident and happy. And in the third year of his rule, first he himself became a master in music, Gandharva Vidya, dance and an instrument, music instruments. Then he increased the interest of the people. लोगों में कला के प्रति रुचि बढ़ाए. The interest of the people in art and music, and organized festivals one by one. This way, Kalinga people overcome from the damage caused by natural and war calamity. In the fourth year, he captured the capital of Vidyadhara and subdued the Rashtrikas and Bhojakas in the north part of the Deccan. In the fifth year, he opened and enlarged the Tansulya waterway, a canal, नहर जिसे बोलते हैं ना, उसको उसने खोला, जो constructed by Nanda kings in the past, उसको उसने वापस restart किया. In the sixth year, he performed a Rajasuya Yajna, and the taxes were released, like income tax, sale tax, जो भी हो सबको कम किया. In seventh year, he married Drishti, the daughter of Vajrakula, and became a father. In the eighth year, he stormed Gorathagiri at the Barbara Hill. Why? The purpose was just to harass Yavana king, who had laid his army outside the Rajgrihi fort. By this step, Yavana king ran away to Mathura, from where he came, leaving his army behind at Rajgiri. Okay. इस तरह से उसने मगध पर प्रदेश राजा को कब्जा करने के लिए रोका. In 9th year of his rule, he donated golden kalpa vriksha, सोने के कल्प वृक्ष, horses, elephants, rathas, houses to brahmanas. He constructed Mahavijay Prasad, expending 38,000. In 10th year, he proceed to Uttarapatha, भारतवर्ष. तो भारतवर्ष उस नाम 10वें साल पर जो उसने काम किया उसमें आता है. क्या उत्तरापथ भारतवर्ष की तरफ वो आगे बढ़ा. In the 11th year, he destroyed the Pithuda city near Machulipattam region. In the 12th year, he erected a fear in a Magadha people. He created a fear in Magadha people by sending his army with an elephant on the bank of the Ganga river. And the king Brahaspati surrendered to him. Then he brought back the Kalinga Jina image carried away by Nanda kings in 400 BC with other valuable booties. The inscription also mentions that he received a giant ship from a Pandya king for transporting elephants on this occasion of establishing the image of a Kalinga Jina. In the 13th year, last year उसका रहता है, when he completed his vrata, he excavated caves for a Jaina ascetics at Udaygiri and Khandagiri. He erected a costly prabhar near Arihanta Nisadya on a Kumari hill and other bhavans. He constructed Arihant Prasad near Arihanta Nisidya. For this structure, he constructed this structure with hundreds of stones collected from different quarries, and pillars were made studded with costly gems. This everything he has mentioned in his inscription. He even mentioned that he conveyed Agam Vachana and rearranged a part of Anga Saptaka scripture destroyed during a Maurya period. In the last paragraph, in the last 17th line, he mentioned that how he was. वो कैसा था उसने मेंशन किया है. A special uppermost quality holder, honoring all sects and traditions, admiring the faith of every devas and shrines, जिसके रथ कभी कोई रोक नहीं सका ऐसा, whose chariots and army couldn't be stopped by anyone, whose soldiers and armed forces are protected by army chiefs, whose military and defense wills are always active, हमेशा प्रवृत्त रहते हैं, जिसके चक्र हमेशा प्रवृत्त रहते हैं, ऐसा कहा उसने. whose military and defense wills are always active, and one who born in a Rajarshi Kula. राजर्षि कुला मतलब हम कह सकते हैं कि कलिंग में पहले एक राजा हुआ था करकंडू नाम का. वो राजा भी था, ऋषि भी था. करकंडू कलिंगेशु ऐसा आता है, तो हो सकता है उसका भी वही कुल हो. One who born in a Rajarshi Kula is a great winner. King Sri Kharvela, Mahavijayi Raja Sri Kharvel. This is the last word of his inscription. Now we will see in our next slide that जो उसने मेंशन किया ना कि उसने वहां पर अरिहंत निषिद्या थी और वहां पर उसने कुछ कंस्ट्रक्शन किया. तो दिस इज द प्लिंथ ऑफ अ श्राइन ऑन द टॉप ऑफ द खंगरी हिल. ये आर्किटेक्चर जो है, ये स्थापत्य को फासना स्थापत्य कहते हैं. और ये पूरा उड़ीसा राज्य में मोस्टली यही फासना स्थापत्य मिलता है. और यहाँ आपको स्तंभ के जो मिलते हैं कि साइड में सब स्तंभ है, वो सब उसका स्ट्रक्चर जो रिमेन्स है वो मिलते हैं. तो ये जो अर्धगोलाकार जो है उसको फासना स्थापत्य कहते हैं. One Digambara temple is there on the top of a Khandagiri hill. Next, now we have come to the Khandagiri hill. वो फासना टेम्प का देखा आर्किटेक्चर वो खंडगिरी हिल पे है. तो ये दूसरी खंडगिरी की जो गुफाएं हैं, मैं गुफाओं में से जो खास खास जो है वो मैं सीन बता रही हूँ. दिस इज द खंडगिरी गजलक्ष्मी एंड श्रीवत्स. गजा मीन्स एलिफेंट. तो हियर यू कैन सी लक्ष्मी विथ अ गजा एलिफेंट. और ये जो है लोटस है, कमल है. ये गज हाथी के सूंड के अंदर कलश है. लक्ष्मी भी एक कमल के ऊपर खड़ी है. द इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट के हियर यू कैन सी श्रीवत्स. दिस इज द ओल्ड श्रीवत्स. यू विल सी नाउ इट्स अ डिफरेंट वन, but this is an old pattern of a Srivats. And our snakes are here. This also you can see. And we can see the enlarged photo. Next. This Abhishek Lakshmi on a door lintel, the same one. So you can, the elephants are standing on a lotus, both are. और इसके हाथ में, इनके जो सूंड में है कलश है. Okay, if you have seen properly. Next. This is a Parshvanatha and a Jina at a Khandagiri on a Lalatendu Gufa. Lalatendu मतलब forehead. खंडगिरी की ऊपर की तरफ ये है, forehead पे एकदम टॉप पर मंदिर है. और ये पार्श्वनाथ है. आप देख सकते हैं कितना बड़ा है. और यहाँ पर इंस्क्रिप्शन है, ललाटेंडु गुफा में इंस्क्रिप्शन है. उसको मैं आपको बाद में बताती हूँ. नेक्स्ट. ये पार्श्वनाथ का एनलार्ज फोटो है. आप देख सकते हैं कि इसकी स्नेक का कितना बड़ा है, धर्मेंद्र का फंड कितना बड़ा है. मतलब ये करीब 10th सेंचुरी के पहले का है. नेक्स्ट. दिशा द्वितीर्थी, जहां एक साथ में एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म पर दो तीर्थंकर होते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड अ द्वितीर्थी. और साइड में ये अंबिका है, देवी अंबिका विथ आम्र लुम्बिनी. हियर वन कैन सी, यहाँ ये जो गुफा है ना वो टूट गई थी, तो इसको ठीक कर दिया गया, ओपन टू स्काई कर दिया. पर ये इसके लिए ये बाहर ही दिखता है. और उसके ऊपर का छत्र आप देख सकते हैं, त्रिछत्र. अंबिका भी दिख सकते हैं. ओके. नेक्स्ट. ये जो द्वितीर्थी देखे, इसके कंपैरिजन हम एलोरा केव से प्राप्त हुई से भी कर सकते हैं. ये दोनों पद्मासन में द्वितीर्थी इमेजेस ऑफ जीनस इन पद्मासना एट एलोरा केव्स. यहाँ पर भी पंकश्री 3 त्रिछत्र है, पर ये लेटर पीरियड की है, वो पहले की है. नेक्स्ट. दिशा ये अभी की जो श्राइन है कुंभारिया जी करके राजस्थान में, वहां पर भी ये द्वितीर्थी है. एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म पे दो तीर्थंकर होते. तीर्थी मीन्स तीर्थंकर, वे मीन्स टू, दो तीर्थंकर है ऑन वन प्लेटफॉर्म एंड विथ deity. These are Chamardhari. Next. These are Tirthankaras at a Khandagiri in a row. ये नवमुनि गुफा का है. यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं एक साथ में ये 10वीं सदी में 24 तीर्थंकर यहाँ पर बनाए गए हैं. ऐसा ललाटेंडु उदय केसरी उद्योत केसरी का इंस्क्रिप्शन है. तो तीर्थंकरा विनरो इन नवमुनि गुफा में 9 तीर्थंकरा दोनों साइड पे खड़ा है उसने. It has 2 inscription of 11th century of a king Udyota Kesari. One is less important, and second inscription is of a 14th century of his rule. मीन्स क्या नियरली अबाउट इन 10वीं सेंचुरी का ये इंस्क्रिप्शन है यहाँ पर. इसमें यह मेंशन करता है नाम देशी गणा के आचार्य भट्टारक श्री कुलचंद्र शिष्य सुबह चंद्र का ये यहाँ पर हमें इंस्क्रिप्शन मिलता है. तो ये जो है यहाँ पर एक साइड पर 4 है और दूसरी साइड पर 4 है. इससे 9 मुनि हमें मिलते हैं, 9 तीर्थंकर मिलते हैं. एक 3 छत्र जो बोलते हैं वो सबके ऊपर है, दोनों साइड पर चंवरधारी है और नीचे उनका जो लांछन है वो बताया गया है. नेक्स्ट खंडगिरी गुफा की हम बात करते हैं तो यहाँ पर ये तीर्थंकरा है और नीचे यक्षी है. करीब करीब लाइन से तीर्थंकरा है और नीचे उनकी सबकी यक्षी बताई गई है. नेक्स्ट ये भी तीर्थंकरा लाइन से है और सब नीचे उनकी यक्षी है. यहाँ पर क्या दूसरे लोगों ने कब्जा किया हुआ है तो वो देवी के ऊपर चुंदड़ी वगैरह चढ़ाई हुई है, आप देख सकते हैं. All jinas are with 3 chhatra and chanwardaris. Next. यहाँ हमें अष्टमंगल मतलब 8 ऑस्पिशियस ऑब्जेक्ट्स, मंगल मीन्स ऑस्पिशियस, अष्ट मीन्स 8, तो उसका प्रीवियस फॉर्म देखने को मिलता है. इट्स ईस्टर्न इंडियन स्कूल. आनंद गुफा का ये है डेपिक्शन. स्वस्तिक है, श्रीवत्स है, भद्रासन है और मिरर है. मिरर के नीचे हैंडल भी है. अगेन इट रिपीट्स. तो ये क्या है, इसको सबको एकदम विथ ऑनर से स्टैंड के ऊपर रखा हुआ है और यहाँ नीचे तीर्थंकर है. तो ये अनंत गुफा के अंदर नीचे इमेज बात की है पर ये अष्टमंगल ऑस्पिशियस सिंबल्स पहले के हैं. All are placed on the this a 3-layer sheet. 1 2 3 3-layer sheet पे उसको विराजमान किया है. नेक्स्ट खंडगिरी के उसका भी है तोरण के ऊपर, डोर लिंटेल बोलते हैं यहाँ पर. जरा एक्चुअली इट इज वेरी मच फेंट सो डिफिकल्ट टू सी. ये वृक्ष है, चैत्य वृक्ष है. एक ऑर्डन किया है, चैत्य वृक्ष की पूजा कर रहे हैं रॉयल कपल. ये किंग है और ये क्वीन है और किंग हाथ जोड़ के खड़ा है और क्वीन के हाथ में ये पूजा का सामान है और ये कर्मचारी है, ये यहाँ से उसको दे रही है. वेरी ब्यूटीफुल. आपको तोरण बहुत ही सुंदर है. रॉयल कपल वर्शिपिंग द चैत्य वृक्ष. नेक्स्ट डोर लिंटल शोइंग मोस्टली ये किंग खारवेल हो सकता है, राजा है और ये 2 अश्व के ऊपर खड़ा है, साथ में 2 रानी है. एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात यह है, यहाँ पर आप ये सन देखिए, सूर्य है, यहाँ पे चंद्र है और चंद्र के नीचे 7 ग्रह, 7 ग्रह बताए हैं, 7 प्लैनेट्स. तो 7 प्लस दिस वन 8 एंड दिस इज 9. तो 9 planets are shown here. हाँ, इसमें एनलार्ज करके बताया है. नेक्स्ट मोस्टली ही इज कार्वेल, 1 horse एंड दिस सेकंड हॉर्स. ये अश्व की लगाम पकड़े हुए है इसके हाथ में, ऐसा बिल्कुल ये ऊपर तक जाती है. अब यहाँ पर आपको चंद्रमा के नीचे जो 7 प्लैनेट्स दिख रहे हैं, यहाँ पे 9 प्लैनेट्स का 9 ग्रह का पूजन ओडिशा में बहुत ज्यादा होता है. मोस्ट ऑफ द श्राइन्स आर विथ 9 प्लैनेट्स. नेक्स्ट, ये भी ऐसा ही दूसरा डोर लिंटल है जहां पर भी खारवेल राजा है, अश्व है और रानियां है। और इसके ऊपर बॉर्डर के ऊपर बहुत सुंदर चित्रण होता है, आप देख सकते हैं। नेक्स्ट, डोर लिंटल विथ अ थिक गार्लैंड, वेरी थिक गार्लैंड। कैन यू हियर मी प्रॉपर्ली? हेलो, आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
ओके, फाइन। कमल का फूल है, फ्लावर, ऑस्पिशियस है हमारे में जैनिज्म में, और ये पूरा हार है उसका, गार्लैंड। नेक्स्ट, वेरी यूनिक एलिफेंट विथ अ 4 टस्क, 1 2 3 4, 4 दांत वाला हाथी यहाँ पर मिलता है, और ऊपर की तरफ पूरा लोटस फ्लावर्स का डिपिक्शन है। यहाँ पर ये फ्रंट साइड, एलिफेंट का फ्रंट साइड और ये साइड, दोनों साइड में और फ्रंट है, मतलब उनको किस तरह से ये दिखता है, कितने अच्छी कलाकार, कितने अच्छे होंगे, वेरी एकदम स्किल्ड कलाकार थे। नेक्स्ट, नाउ अभी हम उदयगिरी केव्स पे आ गए हैं। आपको मैं बताऊं, ये दोनों तरफ जो एलिफेंट है, ये 2 टस्क वाले हैं, मतलब 4 टस्क वाले हैं, इधर भी एलिफेंट, इधर भी एलिफेंट है। और इसके बाद में श्रीवत्स, फिर फ्लावर, फिर श्रीवत्स, फिर फ्लावर, श्रीवत्स फ्लावर, पूरी सीरीज है। मतलब कितना सुंदर इससे अंकन, शिल्पांकन किया है, ये देख सकते हैं। नेक्स्ट, खंडगिरी की गुफा है, यहाँ पर।
मैडम थोड़ा आवाज आ नहीं रहा है।
हाँ, ओके,
It's good now.
ये मल्लीनाथ है, यहाँ पर कुंभ है, उनका लांछन कुंभ है। ओके, और ये पार्श्वनाथ भगवान है, जो आप सब स्नेक से पहचान जाएंगे। और ये दूसरे जिन हैं, इसे पूरे लाइन में खंडगिरी की गुफा में आपको मिलेंगे। तो ये साथ में क्यों है, मल्लीनाथ और पार्श्वनाथ? क्योंकि जहां पर जिसको राहु केतु की तकलीफ हो, तो वो केतु के लिए मल्लीनाथ और पार्श्वनाथ दो की साथ में पूजा की जाती है, साथ में साधना की जाती है, इसके लिए दोनों को साथ में रखा है। और इसी टाइप का स्टैंडिंग जिना इमेज हमको बादामी के उसमें भी मिलती है, तो वो भी मैंने कंपैरिजन के लिए दिया है। और सभी जगह पर आपको 3 अम्ब्रेलास, 3 छत्र मिलेंगे आपको। यहाँ पर मोर है, वो समझ में नहीं आता किसका, वो डेकोरेशन के लिए मोर रखा हुआ है। नेक्स्ट, ये हम खंडगिरी की तो ले आए इमेज पार्श्वनाथ की। अब बादामी में कैसी दिखती है पार्श्वनाथ, बिल्कुल वैसा ही, कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है। और ये दूसरे हैं, दूसरे जिना की मूर्ति है, सब पे 3 छत्र है, ये आप देख सकते हैं। नेक्स्ट, कभी हम जाना कम कर देते हैं, तो दूसरे लोग उसके ऊपर अप्रोप्रिएट, दूसरे लोग कब्जा कर लेते हैं। तो ये पार्श्वनाथ खंडगिरी में ही है, पर वहां पर दूसरे लोग रहते हैं। बड़ी मुश्किल से मेरे को फोटोग्राफ लेने दिया। नेक्स्ट, ये भी मैंने बताया इसीलिए कि द सेल कितना छोटा है। ये भद्रावती का है, महाराष्ट्र में। यहाँ पर दीवाल है और इधर दीवाल है, बिल्कुल दीवाल से लगी हुई तीर्थंकर की प्रतिमा है। पर अभी यहाँ ये बौद्ध लोगों के हाथ में है, अप्रोप्रिएट बाय अदर्स। तो हमको हमारी धरोहर के पास ज्यादा जाना चाहिए, ताकि फिर हमारी चीज हमारे पास में ही रहे और कोई उस पर कब्जा नहीं कर सके। नाउ आई विल शो यू यूनिक केव्स, यूनिकनेस। खारवेल के इंस्क्रिप्शन में हमने देखा कि पांड्या राजा ने बड़े बड़े शिप दिए थे जिसमें हाथी जा सकते हैं। तो ये समुद्र बताया है, यहाँ समुद्र में मछली है और यहाँ पर एलिफेंट है, हाथी है। हाथी ले जाने के बड़े बड़े शिप्स हैं। ये जो आर्टिफैक्ट, ये जो शिल्प है, ये भुवनेश्वर म्यूजियम का में से मिला मेरे को। ये 10वीं सदी का है। इसमें ये एलिफेंट ले जा रहे हैं ऐसा बताया गया है। इसको मैं थोड़ा एनलार्ज करके लाई हूँ। नेक्स्ट, द जायंट शिप कैरिंग एलिफेंट्स। ये आप देख सकते हैं एलिफेंट, और ये समुद्र है बताया हुआ कल से, ये भी है एलिफेंट का बताया। तो यहाँ पर भी बताएं, ये जो आदमी है इसके पहले वाले इसमें हलेसा मारता है, मतलब ये हाथ से चलने वाला, लोग उसको ले जा रहे हैं शिप को। ये नहीं है, यांत्रिक नहीं है, लोगों ले जाने वाले। मतलब उस समय में लोग भी कितने पावरफुल होंगे कि इतने बड़े शिप को लेके जा सकते हैं, ये मुझे बताना था। नेक्स्ट, अभी ये ललाटेंडू केव में जो मैंने पार्श्वनाथ और ये जो बताया था, ये कितना ऊंचा है आप देख लीजिए। वेरी वेरी हाई, नियरली अबाउट 49 फीट से भी ऊपर है। और यहाँ पर इंस्क्रिप्शन है ताकि कोई उसे मिटा नहीं सके। उद्योत केसरी का इंस्क्रिप्शन हमें यहाँ पर मिलता है, और ये हाइट बताने के लिए मैंने ये फोटोग्राफ बताया। नेक्स्ट, ये उदयगिरी गुफा का है। इसका नाम है छोटा हाथी गुफा के। ये बहुत ही सुंदर है। ये एक हाथी है, ये दूसरा हाथी है, तीसरा हाथी तोरण में फ्लावर लेके जाता है यहाँ पर चढ़ाने के लिए। इधर शायद श्रीवत्स होगा। इधर भी 3 हाथी हैं। उदयगिरी में है, उसका नाम ही छोटा हाथी गुफा क्यों, क्योंकि वो बड़ी हाथी गुफा है, तो ये छोटा हाथी गुफा क्यों। नेक्स्ट, ये रानी गुफा पर मैं आपको वापस लेके आई हूँ। डबल स्टोरी स्ट्रक्चर रानी गुफा के अंदर। ये हो सकता है कि खारवेल राजा का महल या कैसा दिखता होगा, ये बताने के लिए यहाँ पर डबल स्टोरी स्ट्रक्चर बताया। रानी गुफा में एकदम कॉर्नर पर ये है, तो ये फ्रंट साइड भी नहीं देख सकेंगे आप। और यहाँ पर बड़ा वृक्ष है और ऐसा है। अभी मैं आपको थोड़ा सा रिवाइज कर लूँ, some more information about Kharvel inscription. What we understand that it was very difficult to read Brahmi words, okay, at that time. Very few persons have knowledge of this script. In 1825 it was क्या नाम, स्टर्लिंग ने उसको बताया कि यहाँ पर है। इसके बाद में 1877 में जनरल कनिंघहाम ने इसका ट्रांसलेशन बनाया, बट इट वाज नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज्ड बाय ऑल स्कॉलर्स। आफ्टर दैट, आफ्टर 8 years, भगवान लाल इंद्रजी भट्ट deciphered few lines and declared that it is a Jaina inscription. About this I am talking about Kharvel's inscription. Then Rajendra Lal and R. Banerjee, etc., historians worked hard on it, and the last translation was corrected by one of the historian come author Bhimji Harjivan Parekh from Bhavnagar and other scholars, and it was finally published by Orissa Bihar Research Society in 1917. Thus, it took record back time, nearly about 90 years, to decipher this inscription. अभी आपको मैं 1 मिनट में बता दूं, हमने देखा कि राजा खारवेल अत्यंत बुद्धिशाली था। अपने सिर्फ 14 वर्ष के राज्यकाल में 14 वर्ष के राज्यकाल में उसने कई महत्वपूर्ण कार्य किए, जिससे आज हमारे पास में जैन फिलॉसफी, स्पिरिचुअलिटी एंड कल्चर हमारे पास पहुंचा है। ओके, नाउ नेक्स्ट। अभी यहाँ पर हमारा प्रेजेंटेशन कंप्लीट होता है, तो मैं मां सरस्वती की प्रार्थना से पूर्ण करती हूँ। तू श्वेत वर्णी कमल पे विराजे, तू श्वेत वर्णी कमल पे विराजे, हाथों मुगट सिर पे साजे। तू श्वेत वर्णी कमल पे विराजे, हाथों में वीणा मुगट सिर पे साजे। मन से हमेरा मिटा दे अंधेरा, मन से हमेरा मिटा दे अंधेरा, हमको उजाले का वरदान दे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, madam. It was very enlightening. I think, thank you for such an enlightening lecture about the Jain heritage and inscriptions of Udaygiri and Khandagiri, and particularly giving us a very detailed account about King Kharavela. I think one thing is very evident, wherein King Kharavela, he lived only for 38 years and ruled only for 13 years. In spite of all that, he had a great administration, and he was able to even defeat Ashoka, and he was able to win the battle of Kalinga. And probably if Kharavela had lived for many more years, I think things would have been very different, with a very glorified heritage, Jain heritage would have been come to light, is what we could gauge from this particular session by Dr. Renuka Purwal. Madam, we have one particular question. Like one is, where is the Jinnah idol that was brought by Kalinga? Where is it kept now?
देखो, मुझे ये कहना है, एक तो कलिंग जिना कौन सी प्रतिमा हो सकती है? मुझे लगता है पार्श्वनाथ भगवान की हो सकती है, पार्श्वनाथ प्रभु की 23rd तीर्थंकरा, क्योंकि वहां पर हमें बहुत सारी पार्श्वनाथ की मिलती है। जो आपने जितने भी डिपिक्शन देखे उदयगिरी के, खंडगिरी के, वी आर गेटिंग मोर। एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू हिस्टोरियंस, उदयगिरी में जो रानी गुफा और गणेश गुफा के अंदर जो पर्टिकुलर लाइफ इंसिडेंसेस है, वो पार्श्वनाथ के हो सकते हैं, ऐसा उनका मानना है। तो एक तो पार्श्वनाथ जी ना हो सकते हैं, और यहाँ पे तो 2000 साल में मुस्लिम आक्रमण भी बहुत हुए, बहुत ही सब खत्म हो गया, तो ये कहाँ पर है वो कहना मुश्किल है। पर हमारे पास में एक है, ये पार्श्वनाथ जो आपने स्ट्रक्चर जो देखा, मैंने बताया था खंडगिरी के ऊपर, वो वहां पर मंदिर था, वो हम देख सकते हैं। अर्हिंत निषेध्या ऐसा कहा है उसने। ओके
Okay, madam, there is one more question. What is the period of Navamuni Gufa? This is the question from Sonali. Any thoughts about this, madam?
नहीं, मेरे बराबर सुना नहीं, सॉरी।
No, what is the period of Sonali Gufa? I'm sorry, Navamuni Gufa. Sorry. This is a question by Mrs. Sonali, and it said the question is what is the period of Navamuni Gufa?
सभी गुफाएं तो पहले की है, पर उसके अंदर डेपिक्शन किया ना, वो उद्योत केसरी राजा का है और वो 10वीं सदी का है। जो प्रतिमाएं जो बताते हैं वो 10वीं सदी की है, पर गुफाएं तो पहले से हैं।
हाँ मैडम, क्योंकि some of the historians are of the opinion that some of these gufas are originally made, in the sense natural gufas, and some of them were man-made or artificial gufas. Do you agree with that, madam?
Rock, it is but natural, no?
It's
Natural caves are natural caves, otherwise rock cut caves. जहाँ पर भी आप कुछ भी डेपिक्शन करेंगे वो तो मैन मेड हुआ ना। रॉक कट केव्स में तो खाली केव्स ही है, कुछ भी विदाउट एनी डेपिक्शन, दैट इज सॉरी नेचुरल केव्स। और यहाँ पर देखो, जस्ट अ मिनट, खारवेल ने मेंशन किया है कि उसने वहां पर बहुत सारी गुफाएं बनाई। इट इज मेंशन इन दिस इंस्क्रिप्शन। ओके, आफ्टर दैट इन द उद्योत केसरी इंस्क्रिप्शन he has mentioned that उसने 24 तीर्थंकरों की प्रतिमा वहां पर बनाई। तो थोड़ी थोड़ी इधर उधर हमको मिलती है, 24 लाइन में नहीं मिलती है, पर 24 तीर्थंकर बनाए ऐसा उसके अंदर इंस्क्रिप्शन में है। और वो इंस्क्रिप्शन 10वीं सदी का है, मतलब 10वीं सदी में भी खंडगिरी उदयगिरी अच्छी कंडीशन में था, उसने जीर्णोद्धार भी कराए, वो भी उसमें लिखा हुआ है। और उसके बाद में 18वीं सदी में भी लोग आते थे, 17वीं सदी में भी लोग आते थे। और वहां का जो दिगंबर टेम्पल है ऊपर खंडगिरी के ऊपर, वहां पर बहुत सारी प्राचीन प्रतिमाएं हैं, आज भी है।
Thank you, madam. Thank you for those insights. Do we have any other questions? I don't think we have any further questions. I think once again, thank you everyone for staying online with us on our Facebook page, Jain Heritage Center's Facebook page, and also joining us on this Zoom platform. I think it was a very enlightening session by Dr. Renuka Porwalji, wherein she took us through various forms of Jaina caves, and then she tried to compare it with what we see in Udaygiri and Khandagiri. Then she also gave us a very detailed account about Kharvela, I think, which clearly gives us, and at the same time, one specific aspect what Madam highlighted today was that the Jaina antiques or the Jaina places of worship or the Jain caves or the Jain temples or mandirs or basadis, if we don't care for it, then people of other faiths might take it over. And we have seen one such example at in the Udaygiri and Khandagiri caves, where the current Jaina deities have been worshipped as deities of a different religion. I think it is a clear indication for every one of us that it's not just about doing the puja at home or visiting the tourist places. At the same time, we should also have equal passion and drive towards visiting the places of Jaina heritage and contribute towards their well-being and upkeep. Otherwise, we will definitely see a time wherein most of these heritage sites might be captured by people of different faiths. I think this is definitely one of the other important aspects or a takeaway of this particular session, which each one of us should think about and act towards preserving our ancient Jaina heritage. Thank you everyone for being online. Very soon we will also see few other sessions in English, Hindi and Kannada in the upcoming weeks. And details about this will be posted on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Jain Heritage Centers, and also on our website, jainheritagecenters.com. We will also mail you and WhatsApp you the details. You can send us an email or to us to info@jainheritagecenters.com, and any further queries, other aspects will be answered over other communication channels. Thank you again. Thank you everyone. Thank you for your patience and patronage and your continued support for us over the years. Thank you. This is Nitin HP here from the team at Jain Heritage Centers. Thank you. Jai Jinendra.